Hello, everyone. So we've been trying to get this is the second part of our broadcast. So we've been trying to get linked up with Dr. Albert, and we're just going to keep trying. I'm hoping that this works this time. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Let's try again. I'll invite. I just sent you an invitation, sir. If you're still there, hopefully you see it. Okay. Okay, I'll invite him again. Oh, I just sent it now. Okay, just sent it now. Okay. Okay. Okay, sir, if you'd like to. Okay. Okay.
Hello, finally.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Excellent, sir. Oh,
Yeah.
my. So
It
what
took
happened there?
it took a while. I was just wondering, you know.
Yes, it
Mm,
was a bit strange, but I thank you, sir, for coming on.
yeah, my
Thank you for being.
pleasure. The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is
Oh,
mine,
oh, I'm
you
so
know.
grateful for.
Buki, good to have you here. Pastor Toby, good to have you here. BC, thank you. We bless God.
Amen. Thank you so much to everybody who's joining and everyone who's able to come and be a part of what we'll be speaking about today. We are absolutely grateful to have everybody on. But, sir, if you don't mind, let me read this bio again. This is too packed full of goodness for me to just bypass, if you don't mind, sir.
All right, no problem.
All right. So Dr. Albert Olufemi Oduwole oversees many organizations worldwide, including the Triumphant Nation, a fast-growing network of churches. He is the CEO of Get Inspired Inc., a peak performance consulting incorporation. He is he is well sought after by several civic corporations and Christian organizations to teach and train in Africa, Asia, Europe, and North America. He is an internationally certified relationship coach with over 25 years experience and holds online and on-site love clinics that attract thousands of people across nations, congregations, and generations. His hunger and passion for learning has made him attend several formal and informal certificate courses, including at the prestigious Harvard University in Massachusetts. He has been happily married to his lovely wife, TJ, for over 2 decades, and together they preside over Word Ablaze Mission International, a multifaceted mission comprising of an international outreach ministry, training centers, and a publishing outfit, also including a media corporation and fast-growing network of churches, which is Triumphant Nation everywhere. Hallelujah. With a good God
Yeah.
bless you.
God,
Let
thank
us give
you.
Pastor just a clap, an emoji. Please throw up an emoji, throw up a hand clap, throw a fire sign, whatever you please. So it's such
Thank
an honor
you.
to,
Yeah,
absolutely, sir.
thank you. Thank you. Good
Yes,
to be
sir.
here.
You're welcome.
Um, and the topic we're treating today is very vital, when we migrate. And there are so many things to say, so
Yes, sir.
I'll just be very quick. I have a
Okay.
book here, How to Find and Keep Your True Love, Bamidele, God bless you. How to Find and Keep Your True Love. I wrote it during our 25th wedding anniversary, my wife and I,
Yes, sir.
by popular demand,
Yes, sir.
because as I travel the world, one thing people, singles kept on telling me is that it's so hard to find now. They say,
Yes,
Reverend, I mean, thank God you people got married, you got married because it's so hard. Now it's not easy now to find. But then
yes,
the couples are also telling me it's not easy to keep.
yes,
So
sir.
I have to sit down and say, okay, why is it hard to find? Why is it hard to keep? The book is
Yes,
on Amazon.com. So, oh, Chicago, it's on Amazon. You can get it from Amazon.com.
yes, sir.
It's a very good book. I'm going to be referring to it in a while. One of the things I said in this book, so I'm just going to talk about keeping. I'm leaving the finding out for today because on the finding, um, I talk about 5 kinds of people that should not even marry, 10
Yes,
reasons
sir.
why it is good for you to marry, 10 love litmus tests. How do you know this is true love? Five
Yes,
reasons why finding is difficult in this age. There are 2 chapters there I highly recommend. I tell
yes,
people, I said, one of the problems we have is that the syllabus changed, but nobody told us. So
exactly.
a lot of young men are like, well, I'm a provider, I can provide that what makes me a man. But we live in a generation that more women are doing better than men. So if you think being a good husband has to do with provision, what if he's earning more? And for ladies that think I can cook and clean, we have a lot of people, men now that can also cook and clean and that can order from Uber Eats. So if you think your value, what you're bringing to the table is that you can cook and clean, the syllabus are changed. So
It
I
has
talk
changed.
about 10 practical things that the men in this generation want and 10 practical things that women in this generation want. Then 10
Yes, sir.
practical places to find love. One of the questions people ask of me every time is, so where do I find true love?
Yes,
So I
sir.
wrote about 10 practical places to find true love. And then why keeping is difficult. That's what I want to talk about. Why it's difficult to keep in this age. And then why 10 reasons why marriage fail, 21 reasons why I choose my wife and all that. Let me start by saying when it comes to reasons why marriages fail, number one, I talked about social media effect in the book. It will
Yes, sir.
shock you how many people as a professional that their marriage are enter into trouble because of social media.
Yes, sir.
Um, I want to dwell on that because I wrote about 7 negative effects of social media on a relationship. I'm not
Yes,
saying you should not be on social media, but excessive use of social media could have effect on your relationship. And there are at least 7 major things that could happen and be negatively impact your relationship. Okay.
yes,
Another point why keeping is difficult in this age is the woke culture. There's a lot of woke culture right now.
yes,
Woke culture that is making a lot of ladies not even understanding who they are again, and a lot of men do not even understand how to be a man, what to do, what not to do, and all that. And it's adversely affecting marriages. Then another reason why keeping is difficult in this age is busy lifestyle. More than ever before, this life, everybody is busy. And marriage takes dedication. So if you are too busy for your marriage, there will be problem, a lot
yes.
of problem.
That's right.
Marriage takes time. If you don't put your marriage on the front burner, problem will start to happen. Number
That's
five reason that I give here is upbringing defect. That is something I put on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, you need to. On every Sunday, I drop a new banger. The one
okay.
I dropped some time ago is that as a pastor, I started getting concerned. I see young men that said to me, Reverend, I'm going to be the best husband this girl had ever seen, this world had ever seen. And ladies that say, I'm going to be the best wife this world had ever seen. Then they get
Well,
married, and less than 1 year, they're beating one another. They're in big trouble. And I used to wonder what the problem is. Then I discovered that the guy that said he's going to be the best husband had never seen a good husband before. The dad is not one. The uncle is not one. The landlord is not one. The friends are not one. The lady that said I'm going to be the best wife had never seen a good wife before. the mom is not one, the neighbors are not one, the boss is not one. So the question is, how do you become what you never beheld?
Yes, sir.
How do you solve an equation where you never saw an example? That becomes a problem. So upbringing. But the fifth one I want to talk about today is constant immigration. Now, immigration had always been, but it's getting easier to immigrate now. And the way life is, I mean, the days of our fathers to go to US from Nigeria takes 21 days by sea.
Yes, sir.
Now it takes a few hours.
Yes, sir.
Then the days of our fathers, you don't even see what is happening on the other end of the world. Now through social media, you can see constantly what's happening on the other end of the world. So
Yes, sir.
this makes everybody to desire to move.
Yes,
So
sir.
there are three levels where immigration is concerned. Number one, I always love to say that even from the talking stage, you need to ask yourself, are you in Yoruba language of West Africa? I wrote in this book, ask questions like, are you Japa or Joku? Japa means you have a vision of immigrating.
Yes.
Joko means you don't have. That
Yes,
should
sir.
be one of the major questions in talking stage. Because number one problem with relationship is even the fact that one wants to Japa, the other wants to Joku. And Amos 3:3 says, can two people work together except there be an agreement? So
Yes,
that
sir.
is number one problem. In talking
Yes, sir.
stage, you need to discuss that. Are we living? Are we staying? So that
Yes,
is
sir.
number one category. Number two category is that one was able to relocate, the other couldn't relocate. And I'm going to talk a lot about that. Sometimes you have to, for a while, be separated. How do you cope? I wrote in this book 9 ways to cope during that phase, and I'll explain it because I've been there. But
Yes,
the
sir.
third one that is also very interesting is what I call the three casualties of immigration nobody talks about, relocation nobody talks about. Three casualties. Number
Yes, sir.
one, most people that relocate, their dreams die.
Oh,
It's sad to say, but a lot of people will find that difficult to believe. But I'm in my 50s now. I've been traveling the world for about 20 years plus. I've discovered that most people who have a lot of great dreams relocate and it dies. People
yes,
that
sir.
want to be a music minister today are working in post office.
Oh,
People that say they're going to be pastors, they are flipping burgers. People that say, I'm going to be an artist, there is nothing like that. And of course, that is understandable because you see, in Nigeria, if
yes,
you
sir.
have a dream, all you need is for your pastor or some of your friends to put money together, pay your rent for 1 year, and you are sorted out. Here,
Yes, sir.
nobody will pay your rent for 1 month.
Yes, sir.
And what you will spend in Africa for 1 year rent is less than what you will spend here for 1 month rent.
Exactly.
So here, everybody is trying to run bills. Over there in Africa, if you don't have money for electricity, the power corporation comes, they cut it, you survive with candle and coal. Here in this cold, you can't survive.
You
So
cannot.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
survival becomes the order of the game. So if you are not careful, dreams die. Oh, at my age now, I'm meeting people in their 60s that
Yes,
have
sir.
been here for 30, 40 years with deep regrets. That why did they come here? That they are dream. Of course, you see, the problem is that you have the norm that makes you feel okay at when you're younger. Oh, you can pay your mortgage, you have a car. But the older you grow, the more your dreams start to resurrect. And you
Yes.
start to discover there is more to me than this. But most of
Yes.
the time, at that time, your bills are concurrent. You have to be paying your mortgage. You have to be paying this. You don't even have time to take a break and face your dream. So number
Yes.
one, dreams die. Number
Yes,
two,
sir.
marriages break.
Yes.
As a professional, it's surprising that marriages that were not having problem in Nigeria, in Togo, in Ghana, in South Africa, get here and they are having big problems.
Yes, sir.
It's very, very funny and absurd. I mean, marriages that were okay in those places, not okay anymore here. It's sad. One of the reasons is because by the time you get here as a man, they're telling you at work, be careful, be careful, be careful.
Yep.
This guy can wipe you out too. So if you have some money, you better keep it somewhere. Don't let her know that you have. Because if he calls police on you, blah, 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 you need to have a second plan and all that. The same
Yep.
group of people are telling the lady at work, here you are the champion. If you call
Right.
police on him, they will tell him to go away. You can get alimony. You can do this. You can do that. And unfortunately, when you are listening to other people at work and in the community, you don't have time for one another. Because
That's
most of the time, if you have little children, you can't leave them unattended. So what
right.
most couples do, one works in the day, one works at night.
Yes, sir.
So you hardly even have time to see. You don't have all your date nights. You don't have time to discuss visions again and ambitions again. And while that is going on, the devil is working on
Oh,
the
yes.
marriage.
Yes,
So the
sir.
three casualties: number one, dreams die; number two, marriages fail; number three, which for me is the saddest, the children are lost.
Yes.
I get calls now from pastors that are telling me, help me, my son is attracted to the same sex. Help me. My son said he does not do God. Help me. And that's common. And the
Wow.
reason for that also is because most people that relocate are what you call um, economy immigrants. In
That's
trying
right.
to make ends meet, you know,
Yes, sir.
you don't have time for church. And you see, if church becomes optional to you, then it becomes irrelevant to your children. It's a matter of
That's
time.
right.
If your son wakes up on Monday morning and says, Mommy, I'm tired, I don't want to go to school. And what do you say? No, you have to go to school. What is wrong with you? What do you mean you don't want to go to school? Come on, my friend, go and get ready. You're going to school.
Exactly.
Then that
Exactly.
boy now wakes you up Sunday morning. Mommy, let's go to church. You say, look, I'm tired. I've been working all week. I can't go to church. You have defined something for that boy.
That's
School
right, sir.
is important. Church is not. So if they tell them in school, your sex is fluid. You can do whatever you want to do with your sex. You can come to school and be a she, though you are he at home. Nobody needs to know. Your son will believe that because what you made him think is that school is actually more
More
important
important.
than church. So
That's
those are
right,
the
sir.
three casualties of relocation. But for the course of this discussion, let's now talk about immigration. Let me start with the first one, like I said. Both of you must agree. Are we staying? Are we going?
Yes,
Until
sir.
both of you come to a conclusion on that, your marriage is not going anywhere. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
what is divorce? Divorce is from the Latin word die and force. Die
Yes, sir.
means to, force means by force. So
Yes.
divorce means separating into two by force. So if one is looking at Japa, relocation. The other one is looking at Joko. I'm not relocation. There is
Right.
no way it's going to work. The
That's
one
right.
that wants to relocate feels I will have gone if not this person is tying me down. The other person is feeling our roots could have been deeper where we are, if not that this guy is just crazy about relocation. So, number one thing I'm going to say before you relocate, be sure both of you are on the same page, even before you get married. Number two, if you know you're going to relocate, then build a solid foundation for your marriage. In this book, I talked about 10 simple things you can do to, they are not complex, they are very simple that you need to do to make your marriage work. 10 simple things. Things like praying together. It will shock
Yes.
you to know that a family that prays together lasts long. Now, let me give you this is statistics from America. 50% of American marriages don't work, first marriages.
That's true.
80% of second marriages don't work. 90% of
Of
third
third. Yeah.
marriages don't work.
Yes,
But
sir.
you know what? They said it's only 1% of marriages or people that pray together that does not work.
That does not work. Okay.
So statistically, the fact that a family prays together has been proven to help. And for me and my wife, we discovered when we were cutting That is not even just the prayer. It is the fact that you cannot pray with somebody and not be vulnerable with them.
Exactly,
The
sir.
fact that your prayer point itself is a vulnerability.
Yes.
The fact that so in trying to pray, the discussion gets deeper. Right now, as a family, now you need to understand the nature of my family. we are
Yes.
mobile. Okay. I normally, under normal circumstances, do 3 nations every month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to you from our home in Milton, Ontario. My wife is in Ibadan, Nigeria. Okay.
Okay.
So at any point in time, you don't even know where we are. But we have a family prayer meeting once a week, which we use WhatsApp for. We do WhatsApp video. Everybody talks about their prayer point, their praise point. In the
Yes.
discussion itself, you know what everybody is going through.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, so prayer is key. Another thing I wrote in this book, simple thing is discussing one another's day. One question I ask everyone around me, my wife, each of my children, how was your day? How was your day? If you don't learn to do that before you relocate, when you relocate, it becomes a problem.
Yes, sir.
Because in one day, there could be 10 things that have happened. You
Yes.
need to find out how was your day. For
Yes,
we
sir.
men, we don't like to ask that question because you women can talk. If you ask your husband, how was your day? He will say, fine.
You say
If your
fine.
husband asks you, you say, hey, you
Ah,
can't even imagine what happened. As you know, I mean, if you ask your husband, so what happened today? Say, I went to get gas. If you ask your wife, say, I was going to get gas. As I was going, in fact, I saw this lady on the way. Do you know that there is sales? The guy is wondering, why did I ask? But it's
yes, sir.
important. Even for the children, I ask my children every day, how was your day? I'll
Yes,
just
sir.
mention one or two more because of time. Another
Okay.
one that is very, very important is discussing the next day together.
Okay.
My wife, like I said, is in Nigeria right now. I'm in Toronto. But what she went to church today, I saw it on Saturday night.
Yes,
She
sir.
was telling me, oh, okay, so I have between these two, which one do you think I should wear? Something that simple, very
Yeah.
important.
Yes.
Discuss one another's day. So I
Yes.
also ask all my children, what's the plan for tomorrow? What's the plan for tomorrow? Today now, one of my daughters was driving us back from church, and I was asking, what's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan? And that's very, very important. Okay. So having said that, I also want to now talk about a major group of people. Those are people that unfortunately one of you has jackpot, the other has to joku.
Ah,
And I can feel them because I was in that situation for 14 months. I didn't plan to. I came into Toronto to do some meetings for a period of 6 weeks. Then COVID caught me here. I was
oh,
here. So how do you cope with that? In this
mm,
book, I have a few suggestions that I believe will help. Number one, on tips that will make long distance relationship work. Communicate as much as possible.
right.
Listen to what I discovered that time. I discovered that it's actually not distance that kills a relationship, it's silence. Can I
That's
say
right.
that again?
Please,
Oh,
sir.
precious Ola, today you're welcome, my daughter, Sister Tony. Good to have you here. Chris Brown Photography, thank you. Rachel, thank you all for joining. Oh, TN everywhere. Whoa, you're here. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. Everybody, you're
You're
welcome. We're having
welcome.
a blast here. You know,
Yeah.
you can tell more people I'm on, and let's keep the conversation going. All
Go
right.
on. Thank you
So yeah.
so much.
So it's very, very important for you to know that it's not the distance that kills the marriage, it's the silence.
Yes, sir.
Communication must be on. And I don't know what the problem is with this generation. This is the most blessed generation. When we were younger, when I travel,
Yes, sir.
number one, you have to be looking for call cards.
That's right.
Okay? There used to be, you come this month. They say it's Niger tail. You buy,
Yes.
you use the call card. Then after a while,
Mm-hmm.
they say, that one is not good again. It's Ghana talk. Then you come
Right.
another time, Ghana talk is not good again. It is Zimbabwe tail. Oh
Mm.
my
Yes.
God.
Different
And you are
package.
calling the thing is breaking.
Right.
But now with WhatsApp, oh my God. When my son was
Different.
younger, one time I was in Switzerland, and he said, "Oh, Daddy, I need you to help me with my homework." I said, "Homework? Me, that I'm not around. Me, I'm in Switzerland. I've forgotten." He said, "I know now. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. We discuss it." I say, "Yeah, you can't even run away from homework any longer." But it's a
Yes, sir.
good thing.
It is.
Communication is key.
It is, sir.
Either one is away or both of you are here, you can sleep on the same bed and your relationship will die because of
Absolutely.
lack of communication.
Communication. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Another thing is that be there for one another. Be there. Many a times, if you are not careful, the things that matter to the other person, you are not there.
Right.
It might not matter to the whole family. It might not matter to you, but it matters to them. One of the things I saw with my wife, for example, is the fact that I'm not too much of a crazy football fan, but my son seems to like football, and my wife sits down to watch it with him because it's very important. So you need to do things that matter. Another thing that is very important is have mutual mentors.
Yes.
Mutual mentors. Mutual mentors. I've discovered that a misunderstanding means mistaken understanding. So sometimes you are saying the cup is half full, the other one is saying the cup is half empty. You might need a mentor that will say both of you should shut up and just drink the water. Mutual mentors will help. Mutual friends will also help, especially when you are not together and even when you are together. You see, when you have friends apart from one another, is one of the things that will lead to crisis eventually.
Absolutely, sir.
So if I have a new friend, I want to introduce my new friend to my wife
Mm. Yes.
because my friend that is not our friend will eventually give me ideas, suggestions, counseling that will be detrimental to my marriage because he does not care about my marriage. He thinks he cares about me. So
Right.
you need to constantly move my friend to our friend.
That's right, sir. That is so
Absolutely
important.
important. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Another one is that you need to find a way to hang out together. Now that looks easy, but you say, what if you are not in the same place? What if I'm in Nigeria and she is in America? You can still do that. For example,
Mm.
many a times in Nigeria or here, I go somewhere, then I get on WhatsApp video and I'm communicating with my wife and I'm telling her what is happening. Or many a
Yeah.
times, for example, this morning on our way to church, I put on the WhatsApp video. She was able to talk to everybody. We were able to talk to her. Friday, I was doing school runs. I wanted to drop my daughters at the train station, my son in school. So I called my wife while they were in the car and jokingly said, "Well, I've become an Uber driver. I have 3 clients in my car. I'm going to drop them." And we had fun. So make
Mm.
sure you hang out still as much as, and if you are together, please hang out. Have a date night.
Yes.
Everything
Yes.
is not about dollars.
Yes, sir.
It's not about dollars. And that is very, very important. You
That's
know,
right.
I think I need to stop. If I continue, I'll keep on continuing. The book is on Amazon. People can
Yes.
go there and get it. Let me take some time to answer questions because there might be people that have particular questions that might
Yes,
not
sir.
be have been addressed yet. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we have like 1 or 2 more minutes. If you want to just give us one more point, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Another
And
thing
then we
that
can
is
look
very,
at it.
very that is very, very important is be come friends with your children.
Yes.
That is key. It will shock you how many marriages are broken because there is no agreement on how to raise children. So if you're in this country, you must have an agreement on how to raise your children, or even if you're apart. The one with the children should constantly discuss with the other one on raising children. And even if you are together, I've seen a case in which the man says, "Look, beating your kid is even biblical. What do you mean?" And the wife
Mm.
says, "Look, if you beat these kids, and they report in school. It can become problem with social services. So if you touch them, it is me that we call police, not even the children, not even the school.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you need to sit down and say, how do we raise these children? What is the norm? One of the things, for example, my wife and I agreed on very early with our kids is that definitely we will not always agree with the other person's style of raising kids, but we will never say that in front of the kids.
That's right.
Kids are they are psychologists.
They are.
Their number one plan, even when they are kids, is to draw you apart, not draw you together. Before my kids can talk, if I rebuke them, they go to my wife, tap her, and point to me as in, go and help me fight. And that is normal for kids, okay? So we came to a conclusion that no matter what she said, what she does with my kids that I don't like, I won't say it in front of the kids. I'll wait until we're together.
Yes.
And say, I think you could have handled that better, and vice versa. And that has happened several times. I say, no, that was too harsh now. I'm not saying what he did was okay, but I felt you could have handled it better. So especially when you are here, when the community have their own idea of raising kids that I personally don't even agree with, because there is a difference between the ones we raise and the one they have raised now.
That's right, sir.
Wide different. So, but both of you need to come to the same page so that you don't allow that to put a bridge between you. And it's stupid for you to allow that to put a bridge between you, because one day the kids you are fighting about will put their hand into their pocket and walk away with a fine bay or boo, and leave the two of you with your marriage in crisis and go have a lovely life. So it's very important for you to discuss the children of bringing. We need to get them to church. We need to make sure that in this house, we don't watch anything that is pornography. We need to make sure that there are some languages we don't speak in this house. I can say very boldly, I said this at our 25th wedding anniversary, my children never, my first child is 24, going to 25. The last one is 16. My children have never had me say to my wife, your head is not correct. They've never had me once say to my wife, you're stupid. They've never had me once say to my wife, you are mad. They've never seen me slap her. They've never seen her lock my shirt.
Yes.
That itself is a message on its own.
It is.
There are languages you don't speak in the house. So you need to come to an agreement on that. It will help you either you're together or not together in the same country, but it will help you to navigate, giving a good foundation to your marriage in a foreign country. Thank you.
That's right. Wow. Oh my goodness. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm just enthralled by all of that. That is so much information. So you have many books, let me just start with this. You have many books that you've written. I'm aware of some of them, but this book in particular, so I don't know if toward the end of the broadcast we can rename it and then tell, just kind of let folks know where they can get a hold of it. I know that you mentioned that it's on Amazon.
Amazon, yes. How to Find and Keep True Love. It's on Amazon. If they go to my bio on Instagram, they will see a way to get it on. If they go to my bio, there is a number they can call if they're in Nigeria. But if they're outside Nigeria, Amazon is the best. They can get the e-copy, and I think they can get the printed copy too. It's our latest book. It came out this year, How to Find and Keep True Love, with a picture of my wife and I. That fine boy and fine girl in front of the book. My wife wrote a chapter there on lessons she has learned in 25 years of marriage.
Okay, sir.
That chapter is also a gem. Very beautiful.
Okay. Wow. I look forward to I'm going to get that one. I'm going to order it as soon as we're done. But yes, sir. But thank you so much, sir. This has been awesome. I don't even know. I mean, there's so many questions, but let's quickly start. There's one question from a gentleman on here, Tayo Andre. It says, I messed up on the communication level. My wife was not happy with it. I promised to make communication better. I told her I needed help. I needed her help to communicate better. Is it wrong if I asked her for help?
It's not wrong, but you see, this is the thing with women. Women wants to communicate. It's us. So this is where the problem is. Even without telling your wife, she will want to communicate. But we
Right.
men, we are used to yes and no answer. That
Trust me.
kills communication.
Hmm.
Honey, how are you? Fine. No, it's not
Yeah.
fine. When your wife says, how are you? You say, I'm fine. In fact, you see, as a man, start to answer like a woman. That's the way
Yeah.
to say it. I say, how are you? You say, I'm fine. Though, yesterday I was thinking, that is what keeps the communication going. You don't
Yes.
just say yes, you don't just say no. Are you okay? Ah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Oh, I mean, thank God the bills are paid. The only thing that could be a concern is the kids' tuition, college for your tuition, but God will take care of it. That is how to keep it going. So, Tayo, what you need to learn is the
Mhm.
fact that with communication, your wife will communicate, but you must make sure you keep it going. That's number one. Number two, we were wrongly taught growing up that a man must not show emotion.
Right.
And when I wrote in this book that the syllabus changed, nobody told us.
Hmm.
What they told us is that to be a man, just make sure that you're a provider. Now, women are making more money than men. And even if you are making more money, you need both income to make things work.
Yes.
So,
Especially
what now,
abroad.
especially abroad? So,
Mm.
you need to now learn that what women are looking for is not just a breadwinner any longer. They're looking
Yes.
for one of the 10 things I wrote there that women are looking for is somebody that is emotionally vulnerable with them.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That it's not like they've been married for 4 years and the person is still a stranger.
Hmm. Hmm.
That they know your fears and they know
Yes.
your aspirations. And I think
Yeah.
that's very important. Finally, Tayo, what I'll say to you is that your wife does not want you to be a perfect communicator, but she wants to see you make attempts
Mm.
to talk. And you see,
Mm.
you men are very funny, very funny. Now you are like, I don't like talking too much until you have a daughter. And your daughter will start to query you and talk to you about all nonsense. And you'll be replying. And your wife is like, hey, is this my husband?
Mm. That's true.
So you can learn it. I love to say God gives you your spouse to prepare you for your children. So use your
Yeah.
spouse as a sounding board to prepare you for
Exactly.
your kids.
Exactly. Wow. Awesome, sir. There's another question that has come up in terms of this is a newlywed wedded couple, and they're asking, how, okay, that both of them work and they've both agreed to move, but they're just getting to know each other, and they're actually, this is what prompted me to do this episode here. They're actually worried about how the dynamics of their relationship will go when they're just getting into the swing of marriage. So that's the immediate concern. And the lady says she doesn't know how things are going to be in this new place that they're moving to. I mean, it's sure that they're both moving, but she's just worried about the dynamics there. So I think she just needs a word of
Yeah.
encouragement.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
three things. It's
Yes, sir.
scary because when you see, like I said earlier, on casualties of relocation, that many
Yeah.
marriages that look solid in Africa, in Caribbean, get here and scatter. So
Yeah.
I understand your fears. But three things will help. Number one, build solid foundation where you are. Like I said, take this book, 10 simple things that makes your marriage come alive. I've mentioned some: praying together, communication, asking questions like how was your day, preparing for the next day together, having a common agreement on child rearing and child raising. Some of those simple things will help a great deal. Discussing your finances together, it will
Mhm.
help a great deal. So
Yeah.
that's number one. Number two, when you relocate, get into a church family. The
Yes.
reason being that outside the country, it will shock you. You see, most of the time where you are right now, even people that are not church people seem to have church culture.
Yes, sir.
You are coming to a country where most people don't have church culture.
Yes.
So if you are not careful, Romans 12 says, be careful so that they don't mold you into their fold. So a
Yes.
church family helps. It helps for you to be able to have a friend in church, not just a friend at work that doesn't understand your dynamics and all that. And this, what I'm about to say now, could be quite controversial, but I'll still say it all the same. A
Yes,
lot
sir.
of people relocate, and the first thing they say is that I don't want to go to an African-led church. I
Mm.
want to go to a Caucasian church. That sounds good. But a Caucasian church, for example, I've seen cases where somebody is now calling on one of my pastors, please come and help us to do naming.
Oh,
What of your church? Ah,
exactly.
Caucasians don't understand naming. What is naming? Caucasians are giving the baby name before the baby was born.
Exactly.
uh So you go to Caucasian to do some counsel, they don't get it. And finally, number three thing that will help you is get a good mentor. But please, if you are relocating, let your mentors not be local champions.
Yes.
Local champion in Nigeria will say, it's your duty to cook for your wife, for your husband, every day, fresh stew.
Mm. Mm.
The man had never stepped outside Nigeria. He does not know the demands of outside Nigeria. He does not
Exactly.
understand that outside Nigeria, you are working as much as your spouse is working. And that common sense is you cook, you put in the fridge for 1 week.
Yes, for 1 week.
You take it and put
Super.
it in microwave. Even if
Yes.
you don't know how to cook, you should be able to know how to microwave. So please go get a smart mentor that understands the dynamics of both worlds and can navigate with you.
Yes, so absolutely. And that leads to my question. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, this lady is saying that she is used to cooking for her husband and that she's used to making fresh meals for him every day. But with her grueling schedule, she now knows the way she's gotten a project management. She just did a course in Nigeria, and then she's been accepted into a course project management position in Leeds in England. And she's saying, okay, her schedule will be too grueling that she honestly doesn't know what to do. And her husband is so used to eating. I spoke with her a few days ago. She said her husband is so used to eating fresh food that she doesn't know what technique she's going to use if he doesn't, like to eat the fresh food, eat frozen food. So I'm thinking, if he's used to it, then I mean, doesn't he need to come to a place of understanding
There are several
so
things
that he
he's used
can
to that he won't be used to again. He's used to
exactly,
having a good weather around the year. He better
yeah,
get used to not having that now.
exactly,
Okay. If it's in the UK, he might be used to driving his own car everywhere. But in the
yeah,
UK, he better get to know that you have to get on tube, you have to get on train, you have
yeah,
to get on bus,
yes,
because in London, if you drive your car, not park, you
yeah,
drive through London, you pay
yeah,
congestion charges.
of course,
London is that country I will never rent a car again to drive, because I tried out the money I paid for. I didn't even know they said the road C on the road. Are you driving and looking for C on the road? You pass through it, you pay money through your nose. So there are
exactly,
things he's not used to, we need to be used to now.
used
One of
to,
them will be the fact that if you don't want, look, my wife is in her 50s. We've been married for 25 years. You will
wow,
think my wife is in her 30s.
wow,
That is not luck. That is because I did not stress her.
yes,
If you overstress your wife, it is you that will suffer it.
that's right,
By
sir.
the time you should be retired and having fun, you'll be carrying out from one hospital to the other.
God forbid,
A hand
yeah,
will be shaking, a leg will be shaking. So it's better. So is that price worth? I want to eat fresh food every day. No.
right.
So please get used to microwaving things and eating.
Mm.
That makes sense to me.
It does. So I think what I would say to that, I mean, I really love what you've said is awesome. But I think that maybe she can because what I do here honestly is, and I have 5 children, so it's a lot. So
I
I
don't
can't be
even know how
cooking
you
for
cope with
them.
5 children. That is, man, you need to write a book.
I can't do it every day, sir. So I just cook on the weekends, and that's the only
Yeah,
thing that
that's
makes
what you
sense.
need to do.
Just cook on the weekend.
Microwave is God's gift.
It is. So cook on the weekends. And when he wants, he can choose soup. If he likes variety of soup, he can choose whether it's onugbu or whatever it is that you eat. He can choose what he wants and then defrost it in the morning. You come back from work and then serve him. Obviously the fufu will be, or whatever it is, gari or whatever it is, will
Yeah,
be fresh. So then he can eat it with the frozen soup or frozen stew. So there are ways to do it. And I think she feels like she's stuck because he's so used to this life. I'm like, there have to be adjustments. But thank you so much for
yeah.
giving us
Let me let
insight
me
about
let me
it.
give you a fresh perspective.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not even talking about relocation here. I'm talking about relocation Nigeria. 20
Yes.
years ago, the government woke up one day and told all senior officials to move
Yes, sir.
from Lagos to Abuja with immediate effect. They have
Oh,
wife, they have children. So their wife and their children cannot move with them immediately.
oh
Most of
no.
them, after spending their salary for 1 month, 1 week, eating at Sheraton and Iconoga, they
Ah,
started looking for an alternative. I knew a lady that time that became a millionaire selling soup. You
wow.
order for the soup, she will help you prepare it and
Exactly.
label it. And then
Mm-hmm.
you carry it, you put it. So those big men that say, I can't eat yesterday's soup, oh, they started microwaving.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not even talking. So if people like that can do it in Nigeria, your husband can adjust, please.
Absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
love to tell women, please take care of your man. But if you
Mhm.
die, your man will still survive.
It's true. It
That
goes both
perspective
ways.
is wrong. Yeah.
That's true, sir. It goes both ways, sir.
It goes both ways. Yeah.
Yes, sir. This next question is about raising children in a church. So this gentleman doesn't believe in going to church on Sundays. He does the online thing where he prefers for his family to fellowship online every Sunday. So they simply don't go to church. The children, however, want to be able to go. They miss going to church back home, and they want to be able to go and fellowship with other children and so on and so forth. But he has this notion that, some pastors could be convoluted and so on, and he doesn't want all that drama. So the wife is now having to sit and say, okay, well, if this is what you prefer, let's make it work. So they do fellowship at home, and they haven't been in church in years and years since they've been abroad. So the concern is coming from the wife, where she wants to know how she could ease her family back to going into church, whether she should ask the husband for them to agree on a place, a general consensus, so that the family can now begin to go to church and the children can begin to fellowship in a church versus watching the services online every Sunday.
Yeah. There are three things that is wrong with every Sunday online service. Number one is the greatest proof of selfishness because you've seen church as a place you draw from, not a place you give
Okay.
to.
Right.
Somebody, if there is nobody working with the technical, working with the media, if there is no ushering, maintaining law and order, if there is no choir singing, that online experience won't be good. Online
Exactly.
experience is not for you for every Sunday. It's
Exactly.
unfair as a Christian to only think of getting, not giving. It's like
Mm.
God made us to breathe in, but we have to breathe out. So church is not just a place you go to get, it's a place you go to give. How
Yes.
do you do that online? You are enjoying other people's labor and teaching your
Mm.
children to enjoy same. I think that is
Mm.
very wrong. That's number one.
Mm.
Number two is that the so-called drama is part of living.
Right.
I'll tell you a story. When I was on campus in Nigeria, I was a campus pastor. One young lady came to me and said, Reverend, my roommates are very unreasonable people. I need your help. I want to get quarters. Then I had some influence. Let me get a place I can stay in quarters. I said, okay. Then she came back to me a week after. Reverend, have you done anything about it? I said, no. Then she came back to me a week after. But Reverend, you are not taking me serious. I said, I'm not going to do anything about it. She said,
Mm.
why? But you know people. I said, yes. He said, but my roommates are unreasonable. I said, that's why I'm not doing anything about it. He said, you don't want me to be happy? I said, no, because in life, half of your in-laws will be unreasonable. Half of
Right.
your co-workers will be unreasonable. Half
Mhm.
of the people in your neighborhood will be unreasonable. God
Mhm.
took you to that room to learn how to deal with unreasonable people, and you want
Mhm.
to escape it. I'm not
Mhm.
going to make that happen.
Right.
So the drama in church is part of growing up.
Yes.
The third thing I'm going to say, people are calling me from all over the world now. Reverend, please help me. My daughter is 27. Help me look for a husband for her. My son is 34. Help me look for a wife for him. I said, the kind of wives and daughters I have and sons I have can't marry your own. They are not brought out the same way. But if you have gone to church with those people, then they will grow up to know one another and marry one another.
Yes,
You keep
sir.
them at home, they are doing online, they won't marry online. No. And if they marry online, they will go and bring one guy from somewhere that you don't know, they don't know, you don't know the upbringing, you don't know anything, and then there will be
Mhm.
problem. So
Yeah.
if you want your children to marry church folks, you've got to get them to church. There is no
Yeah.
two way about it.
That is right. That is right. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, sir. This is, I don't know, this is like a service on its own, you know. Uh, uh, you know, there's another question that I'm just going to go over a couple more questions and then I'm not going to go over the time here. Um, this question is to you, and they want to know why. Okay, let me just rephrase this because it's too blunt. Okay, so she wants to know why it is that her husband, okay, they have an autistic child. They just had an
Yeah,
autistic child.
yeah,
This may be, I don't know, this, if I go into deep, it may be controversial, so
yeah,
I'll paper it down. So I'll rephrase it to say she wants to know how to use more natural, well, more natural ways to treat her autistic child. I don't know if we can speak to this. She says that the conventional medicines that they give the children when she goes for the I guess she's never been used to this with any of her children in Nigeria, and she wants to know that because the conventional medicine seems to be harming the child. The child is already autistic, and she thinks that it may have been caused by the visits that they've been making since the baby was born. Um, so she wants to know what to do. It's a strange phenomenon. None of her children have autism, and she thinks that her child may have gotten it from this hospital since they moved. So she wants to know what to do. I'm not sure how we can speak to that, sir.
yeah. That's the thing. What I'm going to say though is that pray to God and let God direct you, but
Yeah,
don't argue with professionals. Don't
right.
because of what you see now say you are done. Okay,
Mm.
you might need to also talk with people that have autistic children that are elderly, that have the
Yes.
kind of results you desire to have. But
Mm.
don't by yourself say,
Mm.
I'm done, I'm not going this way, because that
Right.
might eventually still harm the child the more. Okay.
Right.
The
Yeah.
problem with life is that there are things you might not like today that might yield good result tomorrow, and there might be
Mhm.
things you like today that might give bad result tomorrow. But since I'm not privy to exactly what they're doing and what is happening, I would just advise pray for God to give you direction, and then as much as possible try to find a mentor and meet people that have autistic children but have the kind of result you are
Right.
hoping to have.
Exactly. Exactly, sir. Okay, this next one says, I recently moved to Amsterdam with my husband, and I find that we are always bored. She just says that she finds that they're always bored and they have nothing to do. She says she loves her husband's company, but she says that they have nothing to do. There's people around, their neighbors say that there are many activities they can get involved in, but they're not really inclined to those activities. So
Yeah,
she wants to know what, she's used to a different life in Nigeria, and she
yeah.
wants to know what to do to curtail the boredom. She says that they're always bored, herself and her
And
husband.
there is a language barrier in Amsterdam. I've been to
Yes,
Amsterdam, Deutschland a few times. There's a
yes,
language barrier. There is a
there
lot
is.
of culture shock.
There
You
is.
know, I've seen their prime minister on a bicycle before.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
know, those are things you are not used to where you're coming from. Find a
yes.
church. I'm telling you
Mhm.
sincerely. You see, when we talk like this, they say pastors have started. Church prepares you for heaven, but beyond that, it keeps your sanity.
It does.
There
It
is a
does.
social life of church that you cannot. Then they did a survey in America. This is not
Yeah.
even this is in America, and they discovered that every Sunday in America, billions of dollars of consultancy takes place in church after Sunday service,
Yes.
and I mean billions of dollars that nobody is paying for.
Right.
You have an autistic child, you know a professor of us, you just, sir, during the week, and that one is telling you, papa, 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 or you have a dog that is misbehaving, you go to that vet doctor, or you talk to your pastor, my husband is behaving, and gives you a consult. In my professional capacity, the minimum I charge for an hour of consulting when it comes to relationship is $200.
Right. Sir.
Okay, but if you're in church and you want to quickly ask me something, then we do that. $200 is waived. Or you're an immigration lawyer, you go to a church. It's not that people should not pay for your services, but then there
Right.
are sometimes somebody just needs a quick consulting. So church is vital. So if you're that bored, find a thriving, living church.
Yeah.
Now, go to a church that has a lot of Gen Z.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There is
Yes.
a lot of activity in such churches, not a
Yes.
church of old people. There
Right.
will be more burning than burning. But Gen Z
Mm-hmm.
people, they will stir things up in you.
Of
And that's what
course.
I'm going to advise.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you so
don't
much.
let go of your friends outside Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people do. Oh, I've not left Nigeria. I've not left Ghana. I've not left Zimbabwe. I'm now
Yes.
in a better place. I'm cutting everybody off. Don't cut them off. You will
Yes.
always need relationships across the nation.
Yes, sir. That is true. You know, one that's so crucial because as some people moving, that's true. They want to cut off from the former relationships because of
Yeah,
this new life
yeah.
and now begin new friendships with the new
Mm,
life. But the friendships from the past can often help to, you know, kind of oil those new friendships or oil that new life,
yeah.
and just kind of help you cope, even, you know, when you feel like you don't know what to do. Um, so, I mean, this is beautiful. One last question. Let me see. I think there was one from the audience here. Let's see. Uh, okay. Well, this one here says, um, let's see here. Myself and my husband just purchased a home in Denmark. So these people are in Denmark as well. Um, they just purchased a home, but they find that the home is half the size of the home that they had in Nigeria. These ones want to move back to Nigeria. So they say, yeah, so they're saying that if, you know, okay, basically it's a long one. It's they're regretting moving because life is just so much harder.
Yeah,
There's a big, huge
indeed.
language barrier. They have to
Yeah,
learn how to speak Dutch. They don't know how to speak Dutch. They're learning, taking classes, and they want to move back to Nigeria because they feel like life is not what they thought it would be. The first issue they're having is the darkness. They said that during some months they have total darkness where they
yeah,
have to take vitamins to replenish their vitamin
yeah,
C. That they can't cope. That one is like throwing them off, and then they're also not sure what to do in terms of, you know, having a child. They were thinking of having a child, but they don't know anymore. The house is too small. They feel like they're cramped, you know, in their home because it's just too small. But that's what they live with in Denmark. I mean, but they're not used to it. They want to know what to do. They weren't
yeah,
warned of these realities, and they want to know what to do. Should they move back or should they stay
yeah.
in
I'm going to
Denmark?
answer that in two questions. Number one, I would love to say that if they're Christians, I would say they should pray and get direction. I always
Yes.
tell people relocation should not be your idea. It should be God's
Yes.
idea. But then, if you are not that kind of a person that knows how to hear God and all that, I would say before you relocate, and people are here that wants to relocate, before you relocate, you need to learn this eventuality. Don't talk
Yeah.
to people that are telling you everything is easy. Everything is not easy.
Everything is not easy.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, when my children came to Toronto, they were all used to having their own rooms. But the first
Mm-hmm.
few months, they had to all cramp somewhere. It
Mm.
wasn't funny. It wasn't easy, but that's an eventuality in a new country. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a friend in Italy. He grew up in Africa, married to a lady who is half Italian, half Ghanaian, but she was born in Italy. So
Right.
when he said, "Oh, I have some money now, let's go and buy a big house," the girl said, "God forbid. Why?" He was taken aback. But we have money. The guy said, "Yes, we'll be cleaning and all that. I prefer it small." The mentality is different.
Mm-hmm.
When we're looking for a fair bedroom house in Toronto, my children were like, "How come do we hardly get?" Before we got, it took us a while. I said, because most of the time, by the time their kids are 16, they're out of the house.
Yes, that's right.
You know, and most of the time, they don't have more than one or two kids. One
Mm-hmm.
child, one dog, one
Right.
cat. They don't
Mm-hmm.
need a lot of room for that. So you are in a country where minimalistic living is
It's,
key.
yes,
You
that's right.
have to learn it. I'm going to say to you, don't rush back to Nigeria, or else you will wish you run back again. Give it at least 1 year.
Yeah, give it time. Yeah,
Give it time. Give it at least 1 year.
that's right.
The things getting dark and all that will not be all year round. It's a winter problem.
It's
It
winter.
will soon go.
Mm.
Um, Language, you can always learn the language. In fact, it will be an advantage to your children. Even
Yes.
if you know how to speak Dutch, don't speak Dutch to them at home. Speak
Yes.
English, speak your native language. Let
Yes.
them become multilingual. But please don't
Mhm.
rush back like that. Because Nigeria, you are rushing back to wherever you left behind, people have also stepped up there. So
Yes, sir.
the space you thought you would find, you might not find that easily again.
That's right. Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. This has
Thank you.
been, we could just keep asking you questions, sir, but
You know, we
I'm
can go
going
on.
to.
I know it is. You
Yes, sir.
know,
I'm going
you
to
know.
respect your time. I'm going to
Thank
respect your time.
you.
And you're a man of many parts. You're extremely busy, and this has
Yeah.
been an absolute honor. I want to say thank you so much to
Thank you.
everyone who has joined. I'm sorry I didn't get the chance. I was just trying to get as much possible as possible from Dr. Oduwole, but a chance to greet everybody who has joined. Thank you so much to every one of you who have joined. We've been on with Dr. Albert Oduwole. He from listening to him, if you never heard him before, I'm sure you've learned so much, and we just want to just appreciate every one of you who has come on. Dr. Oduwole's book is on Amazon.
Yeah.
So do you mind, I know you repeated it once before, but do you mind repeating the name of the book and where they can get it again, just in
Yeah.
case
This
they want to use it?
particular one is How to Find and Keep True Love. It's on
Yes.
Amazon, but you can go to my um, Instagram, follow me,
Bio.
then go to my bio. You will see how to get this book and other books. Then follow me on YouTube. On YouTube, you see lots of my messages on different things. Um, on every Sunday on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, I drop a reel of a relationship message every Sunday. So go there, go get it. It will bless you.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
If you have any questions for Dr. Albert, he'll be more than happy, I'm sure, to
Yeah,
receive any messages from you. Do
any.
you receive
Feel
DMs,
free.
sir?
Yes, they can. I read
Okay.
my DM. Yes, I do it myself, so they can. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, please feel free to contact him and ask him any questions that you have. He'll be more than happy to answer them. I am only a rookie. I've only been married a bare 15 years, 16 years. So
You
I'm
need to
learning
write a
so
book
much.
on how to raise 5 children in a foreign world. That is a miracle. You are performing a miracle every day. You
Oh,
know.
but his grace is enough. What can we say? But it's a collaborative effort. So honestly, my
Yeah,
husband and I have been working together, and by the grace of God, it's not been easy, but we thank God.
yeah,
Sir, we are grateful to you. And we want to say thank you. Are there any parting words you want to give to us? I wanted to emphasize something quickly, sir.
yeah.
Nigeria is a beautiful country. And,
Beautiful.
it's not that we shouldn't move,
Mm.
that it's not as if Nigeria is a place that we should all plan to run away from. As we speak, we still have businesses in Nigeria. We still do a
Yeah,
lot in Nigeria. And we want to encourage us that as much as people are leaving and want to leave on a healthy foundation, it's also important to remember that there is still so much to home. There's still so much goodness, in Nigeria that we can still glean and get. So, sir, if you can speak to that as well, the
Yeah,
advantages of being home and how we can also
yeah,
maximize
yeah.
as Nigerians.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I tell people is
Yes, sir.
that if you even relocate, don't cut ties.
Right.
This community is not a community you grow too old in.
Yes, sir.
When you grow old in this community, you are going into old people's home, from there to hospice. It's back in Nigeria that you have people that come look after you, that you can have a driver that drives you around,
Yes.
that you can have a doctor that comes and meet you at home.